that it's easier for them to fly here to Myrtle Beach. They say the airlines have helped save them time and a lot of money. It's up to the motel owners to make sure that their properties are safe. It's still a very active and very intense scene out here. We're seeing search dogs. SCDOT does plan to go forward with a roundabout. Construction is expected to begin. There's still debris everywhere, but one thing that you can't tell is that there's still a lingering smell, a burnt smell here on the scene. 45 minutes ago, we poured water on this ledge. As you can see, it's already turned into ice. Let me give you an idea of how high the levels are in our area. One doctor I spoke with says anything over 30 particles, the IRS will stop the processing of paper tax returns, which means you won't see tax refunds in the mail anytime soon. For the past several weeks, they've treated mold and air quality issues, and as a safety precaution, the school district relocated all classes and offices from Darlington High's main building. Most of the legislation in Columbia to protect or expand gun owners' rights, the concept may raise a few eyebrows, but instructors say it's the best workout you can get. Dangerous water conditions continue to put people's lives at risk. Food is one thing that brings people together, and it's an important part of the Southern culture.
Clemson pulls off a sweep, Coastal Carolina pulls off a sweep. Pretty much doesn't matter who you pull for. That's right, breaking out the brooms. Nice job there.
She asked him last year too. Wade said he just admired her persistence.
There you go. Yeah. Persistence pays off.
I know, exactly. Just keep writing and putting on YouTube.
I heard that didn't work out so well for you in high school, though. Maybe you should have saved that story for after the show.
Yeah, I wrote, well, I guess we were talking about that before the show. I wrote to The Rock, the wrestler, and asked him to go to prom with me.
It's worth a shot, right?
Yeah, and he didn't go, so all right.
Can't hurt.
Like, it was a sweat box. There was 8 of us living in there. It was just rotten, like, and the smell in there was disgusting.
Those were some of the customer complaints we heard about the Calypso Motel in Myrtle Beach. It's a place where Paul McNamara and his friends plan to stay the entire summer.
We're all from Ireland. We're just come here for a bit of work and a bit of holiday in the summer.
Nearly 2 weeks into their trip, the fire marshal declared living conditions here unsafe.
You know, there was a lot of overcrowding going on. There were some building issues, property maintenance issues, health and safety.
We took those concerns to the owner of the hotel, and he says his property is safe and that rowdy customers are to blame for recent code violations.
They trust the place, so they call the fire marshal. We are living in an unsafe place.
Let me get this straight. What you're telling me is that the rooms were fine. It was the students who...
Exactly. That the student who trashed the place. And he took the smoke detector.
We submitted a Freedom of Information request and obtained citation reports for the Calypso Motel. Those public documents show a 3-year history of code offenses. Problems include missing smoke detectors, disorderly storage of combustible material, and structural damage. With more than 370 buildings inspected within the city limits, Chief Bruce Arnell says this location and several other motels are repeat offenders.
The building department, the police department, and the fire department have put together a task force, if you will. It's time that that the property owners get the message that, you know, they've got to maintain their properties.
In room by room, Yuta showed us 2 of the previous locations cited for sanitation and safety issues. He says once the students left, he cleared the trash, replaced broken smoke detectors, and now hopes the marshal's office sees what he calls an accurate view of his property.
We're looking around to make sure that that doesn't happen again. There's no specific building that we're targeting or property that we're targeting.
Check on me 3 times a year. There's no problem. If I need to fix the place, I'll fix it.
Police search for a pair of suspects connected to a robbery and shooting.
It happened at around 9 o'clock tonight, centered at Last Word near the Avalon subdivision in Carolina Forest. News 13's Brie Jackson joins us now live from the scene. And Brie, give us the very latest.
Well, guys, it's still a very active and very intense scene out here. We're seeing search dogs and we're seeing police walking around with their guns out. Now, Horry County police officers tell me that this started as an armed robbery at the McDonald's on International Boulevard, and then this crime escalated real fast. The 4 suspects took off and the victim followed in his car. Now we're told that a crash occurred near here at the Carolina Forest Community Church, and after that crash happened, 3 of the 4 suspects got out and police say they started shooting. 1 victim was hit. Now 2 of those suspects were detained and 2 remain on the loose, and that's who police are looking for right now. So we will continue to keep you covered As more information becomes available on this, but like I said before, police are still searching these wooded areas in the Carolina Forest community, right near the Carolina Forest Community Church, and they're looking for 2 suspects. They're not sure if any of those suspects are armed, but 2 have been detained, 2 are on the loose, and there is a victim in the hospital right now.
Jail with more. Brie?
What the judge did say was that Thad Byers is to have no contact whatsoever with the victim. Now, here's what happened inside the courtroom. Judge Clifford Welsh set a $5,000 personal recognizance bond. He then explained that Representative Thad Byers needs to appear in an Horry County courtroom for a second court date. The judge went on to say if the state politician failed to appear, a bench warrant will be issued and Byers will be arrested. Now, the victim waived her right to appear in court today, but she did request a no contact order. According to the incident report, Byers' ex-girlfriend broke off their relationship months ago, and Byers continued to call, text, email, and show up at the victim's home. Byers' lawyer, Michael Wells, says this was a 4-year relationship that included a marriage proposal. So after Thad Byers was released from jail today, we were able to catch up with him, and here's what he told us.
I think the public will see through this, but in the same spirit of that, that's why I'm no longer running for Congress. And that's all I have to say right now, guys.
What do you say to those that say you're harassing women, though? Because that shows a history of almost harassment.
All the emails and everything will come out. I think everyone will get to have a good read on all of them. And I think at the end of the day, my side will prevail. Thank y'all.
And as far as the 7th congressional seat goes, Thad Byers did withdraw from that race, citing personal reasons, and he said he will not run for the state house. These are signs of respect or disrespect for gangs.
Congressional Mafia Crips, so that was pretty much our gang name.
Green says he was blessed into a smaller set of the nationwide group, the Crips. Data shows gangs are a growing problem statewide. Here in Horry County, police linked a rising number of homicides to organized crime.
Picture's already going to be on Mugshot Monday, so everybody see your picture and vote him, okay?
Sergeant Lynn Baker monitors gangs. She identified nearly 3 dozen Horry County groups.
From your motorcycle groups, your Hispanic groups, your hate groups, your Bloods, your Crips, your Folks. Our Folk Nation and Crip use that.
Baker is trained to recognize gang colors, hand gestures, and tattoos. She keeps records of identifying marks and mugshots of gang members booked at J. Reuben Long.
Over the last 5 years, we have documented over 500 gang members just through the Sheriff's Department.
Green says illegal activities like selling drugs are a small part of the gang life. For him, the group serves as a symbol for family.
That's mainly what it is to us. It's a unity of family, friendship, and things like that.
I wear this to keep her close to my heart. You know, this is all I have.
But gang violence tears families apart. 6 years ago, Barbara Hightower's daughter, Jamila, was murdered execution style. Since then, Hightower teamed up with the group Mothers Against Violence.
We just need to get these guns off the streets and get these gangs out of our community.
As part of community efforts to prevent crime, the Sheriff's Office partnered with surrounding agencies to collect data on gang activity. In an effort to avoid jail time, gangs turn to younger recruits who are less likely to go to prison.
64% have already admitted in DJJ that they have already joined a gang by the time they're in middle school from 9 to 12 years of age.
Parents are encouraged to look for warning signs of gang involvement, including changes in your child's behavior.
They're wearing these colors, and if they're drawing all kind of graffiti, the parents need to get involved.
Kids help change Green's life. The father of 3 remains a member but tries to avoid gang activity. He hopes to lead his children in a different direction.
All I can do is persuade them to go about things differently instead of actually wanting to follow in my footsteps.